What's happening, everybody? Boy Big Brando, and today let's talk about buying equipment. Now, it's a question I've been getting a lot of lately, and it's because I got a lot of new viewers coming to the channel. A lot of people finding me on TikTok and now finding out that I have a YouTube channel, and a lot of the questions are, what's the best equipment to buy? What's the best heat press to buy? What's the best vinyl cutter to buy? My budget is $1,000, what should I invest in? If you had $600, what would you spend it on? If you were just getting started right now, what would be the equipment that you would buy to get started? All of these questions are very valid, and I understand the concern behind the questions because some people have really tight budgets, and if they're going to invest money in it, they want to make sure they can make their money back on that investment. So this video right here is going to be broken up into people that are buying new equipment just to get started brand new, people that are looking to upgrade their equipment from what they have and what they got started with and what would be the next step, and we'll talk about some cost saving benefits that I would implement into my own business if I was getting started up all over again. Alright, first things first, there's nothing wrong with used equipment. You can always look on OfferUp and Craigslist and find some used equipment, used heat presses, used vinyl cutters. If your budget is that tight, there's nothing wrong with using used equipment because you can always upgrade later. A lot of times the people that are selling stuff on Craigslist and OfferUp is because that's the equipment they started out with, and then they eventually upgraded to something else to meet their production needs, so they're selling a lot of their stuff. A lot of times it could be somebody that had a failed business. Maybe they bought a heat press and a vinyl cutter and decided that business wasn't for them, so they're offloading the stuff there. So if you're looking for equipment and you have a tight budget, Craigslist and OfferUp are really good options for you. Now, I get the concern that you don't want used equipment. You want something to come right out of the box and start working right away. You don't want to get scammed on some broken equipment or whatever it is. I get that concern also. So if you're in that boat and you have a tight budget but you want to buy some new equipment, let's talk about vinyl cutters first. Now, the best bet and the safest bet would be a Cameo or a Cricut. The reason I say those two cutters right there is because they're super popular, and there are millions of videos on YouTube to help you get started, help you troubleshoot, help you figure out the cutters. The content around those two cutters makes it an easy sell for myself. I believe the Cricut is like $200 some, $200 to $300. Cameo 4 is like $250 to $300, somewhere around there. Both basically the same, but like I said, the information that's on YouTube already around those two cutters from people that have been using them for years is perfect. I make videos about my Cameo, but I also don't know everything that the Cameo can do. I only use it to cut out vinyl for t-shirts and cut out decal vinyl, and that's it. You have these other people that are using it to cut cardstock and draw on stuff and make stickers and do all this other crazy stuff. Like I said, the information is out there on YouTube. Some people might be like, oh, I don't want to invest in one of those cutters. I want to go with this other off-brand cutter. Maybe it's bigger, maybe it's cheaper, maybe it's whatever. But then they run into an issue with there's not a lot of content out there on YouTube on how to operate it. Then they find out that that company has bad customer service, the instructions are messed up, now they can't figure out how to use it. So if you're just getting started and you're very new to cutting vinyl, invest in a cutter that has a lot of information already out there. You know what I mean? I personally don't use a Cricut. I can't say good or bad things about it, but I do know that there's a lot of information out there, and I do know that there's a lot of people that use it, so that says something for the Cricut cutter. I use the Cameo. I used to use the Cameo 3. I now have the Cameo Plus. The only difference there is one's a 12-inch cutter, the other is a 15-inch cutter. Now remember, if you're just doing t-shirts and hoodies and joggers and you're pressing on garments, you really don't need a 24-inch cutter unless your statement of work is like decal vinyl and you're doing like really big car decals or wall decals or window displays and stuff like that. A lot of the stuff you're going to be cutting isn't going to be that big, so a 12-inch cutter or a 15-inch cutter will get the job done easy. Remember, a lot of people always think, all right, I need to get the biggest, best cutter because I'm investing into my business, but a lot of times if your statement of work is just t-shirts, you're never going to be using 24 inches of that cutter. You're just going to be using 12-inch rolls, 15-inch rolls, and cutting designs for t-shirts. Designs for my t-shirts really never even go bigger than 12 inches wide, so keep that in your mind. So at the time of recording this video, the Cameo 4 is like $299. I think the Cameo Plus is like $399. The difference between the two, Cameo 4 cuts 12 inches wide by length, Cameo Plus cuts 15 inches by length. Only difference is there. Now let's talk about heat presses. Most of you guys know this, but you can always go on Amazon or eBay and find really budget-friendly heat presses. Sometimes these might be like no-name brands or Chinese-made brands, and people will say, hey, what do you think about this press? What do you think about that press? I have no idea. It's kind of hard to say if it's good or bad. If that's all your budget can afford, you can always use that to get started, make some money, and then upgrade later. For myself, when it comes to the heat press, I actually like to buy with companies that actually back their heat presses. Very hard to contact customer service if you buy it off Amazon or buy it off of eBay, and it's like one of these generic brands that really don't help you troubleshoot, right? Because you got to think about it. If the heat press goes down, then your business stops. So for myself, I like to invest with a company that actually backs their heat presses, where I could contact them if I need to troubleshoot something, or if I'm having issues. Somebody like Heat Press Nation makes it very easy for me to reach out and be like, hey man, my press is acting weird, or my press is doing this, and they could help you troubleshoot and get you back up and running as soon as possible. That's what I like to invest in, whether it's a very low-end press that's very inexpensive or something that's high-end and a lot more expensive. Buying from a company like that that actually backs their products gives me that extra reassurance that if something does go wrong, they can help me out. So some of the inexpensive presses that are on Heat Press Nation's site is something like the M Press. 15 by 15 M Press could go from like $350 to like $380. Easy call. Typical clamshell press, get the job done, heats up evenly, you're good to go. Another good option would be something like the Black Series by Heat Press Nation. That one usually goes for like $400 to like $430 or something like that. And then if you're looking for something with a little bit more functionality and the functions that I like slide out drawers, you could go with like the Craft Pro. I'm talking about 15 by 15 presses right now. 15 by 15 will let you do basically any t-shirt, any hoodie, any design size that's under 15 inches. Like I said, I never design anything bigger than 15 inches, so 15 by 15 works perfect for what I do. If you plan on designing a lot bigger than that, then you're gonna have to look into a bigger press. But for myself, my whole brand and business is built around 15 by 15 heat press because I don't design anything bigger than 15 inches. Never bigger than 15 inches in length, never bigger than 15 inches in width. A lot of people think you gotta do really big designs and big graphics and all that. If that's what you wanna do, cool. For myself, everything stays within 15 inches. So like I said, the Craft Pro, 15 by 15 has a slide out drawer. They come in a bunch of different colors, but I think the standard color is like $450 to like $480, something like that at the time of recording this video. These prices are just loosely of what I skimmed through and looked at real quick, whether these are the sell prices or these are the regular prices at the time of this video. That's what the prices are set at. Now, question that I get all the time is, what's the difference between these like $2,000 presses and let's say these $300 presses or $400 entry-level presses? And not to get too technical, but for myself, it comes down to production. If you're being real with yourself and asking yourself, how many t-shirts will you be doing a day? Obviously, our goals are to do hundreds of thousands of t-shirts a day. But realistically speaking, right now, at your current state of production, whether you're just getting started or about to get started or you're already in production, how many t-shirts are you doing a day? If you're doing under 100 t-shirts a day, easy call to say the M Press, Black Series, Craft Pro would be an easy call for you. Now, I'm not saying if you do over 100 t-shirts with these presses, the press is gonna crap out on you. I'm not saying that at all. But the price of the heat press fluctuates because of the production value behind the heat press. So let's say you're doing over 100 t-shirts a day, right? Which is cool. If you're doing over 100 t-shirts a day, you're making good money. Obviously, you can afford to upgrade your heat press for not that much more money and start using something like the Signature Pro. Signature Pro is what I use. That press is like under 700 bucks. I want to say between $600 and $700. On TikTok, I'm showing me pressing 100 t-shirts in less than an hour, front and back hits with my Signature Pro. It's a workhorse, it's a beast. Are there times where I do way more than 100 t-shirts? Yeah, I get orders for 500, 600 pieces all the time. And I'll press up like 150 t-shirts, maybe 200, take a break. And then do another 150 and take a break. I'm giving the press some rest, I'm giving myself some rest. But I'm talking about back to back to back. I'm talking about just knocking down 100, 150 shirts. Maybe it takes you an hour or two, take a break after that second hour. You know, drink a beer, hang out, cut the press back on and start going again. That's how I operate. A good equivalent to the Signature Pro heat press would be something like the Ricoma heat press. Functions are basically the same. Slide out drawer so you're not burning your knuckles, auto open feature. Big difference would be the Ricoma has a touchscreen, digital touchscreen, and the Signature series has actual physical buttons that you would press. Both operate very well. Both are made for production. And those are the two presses that I have currently in my workspace. Do everything I needed to do, put thousands of t-shirts through these things with no issues whatsoever. Now let's talk about like the higher end ones, right? Like the Hotronix, we've seen those before. The Geonites, like the really high-end presses. These things are made for commercial use. These things are made for high production. That's why they're priced like that. For example, the Hotronix Fusion press, I think it's like $2,500, something like that. Has every single feature you want, right? Pull out drawer, threadable, nice even heating. Everything about that press is made for production. That's what you're paying for. So if you're banging out a shitload of t-shirts a day, obviously you want a high production machine. That's where that price tag comes into play. And you got to remember, Hotronix is the standard when it comes to heat presses. You guys know the signature colors. You guys know exactly what a Stahls Hotronix heat press is. Do I recommend somebody just starting out to get that press? Probably not, because that's a hefty price tag, right? If your budget was $2,500, you're spending your whole budget on the heat press. You have no money for t-shirts, no money for a vinyl cutter, no money for vinyl or transfers. All of your money is spent on that heat press. But let's say $2,500 is the budget. You can always get something like the Cameo Plus for $400. And then get the Signature Pro heat press for like another $650 or $700. Now you have the same exact setup that I do for $1,100. With the rest of the money, you can buy vinyl and blank t-shirts and get going right away. See how that works out? So for myself, if I were to think about upgrading to another heat press for my production needs, it would be the Hotronix Fusion press. Right? Everything I've been doing on the Signature Pro Signature Series heat press has worked perfectly for me. I incorporated the Ricoma press into my production because at the time of getting another press, I couldn't get my hands on another Signature Pro because they were all sold out because it's a really popular press. After doing my research, the Ricoma press was an easy call for myself and a very easy fit for my shop, and we never skipped a beat. And we put thousands on top of thousands of t-shirts through this thing. So hopefully you guys have a better idea on how these heat presses work, why they're priced certain ways, help you make a better decision. Now, if you were just getting started, what I would do and what I would invest in is a vinyl cutter and a heat press. If you didn't want to get a vinyl cutter and you just wanted to use transfers, by all means go for that. For me, I feel like the vinyl cutter and the heat press go hand in hand. Because you got to remember, any idea you have, you could cut it on vinyl, press it on a shirt right then and there. Whether you just want to test that design out, whether you want to make a custom shirt one-off for somebody, having that ability to bang something out right then and there, easy call. If you're just getting started, I would buy white vinyl. Why would I buy white vinyl? Because you can always change the color of the t-shirt. If you bought something like green or red, you're limited on the t-shirts that you could press on. When you have white vinyl, the only thing you can't press on is a white t-shirt. But you can always change the color of the t-shirt and press white vinyl on there. So if I were to get started all over again, that's what I would invest in, is a roll of white vinyl, heat press, and a vinyl cutter to get me going. Now, on top of all of that, you got to remember, when you're buying vinyl, a lot of people like the convenience of going into Michael's. They like going to Hobby Lobby, Joann's, or any of these other craft stores to buy vinyl. Right now, Michael's is selling vinyl in a 12-inch by 1 yard roll for $12 on sale. The regular price is $18. And I'm talking 12 inches by 1 yard. So that's 12 by 36. Some of you guys might be thinking, damn, that's a good ass deal. But if you went to EconoTransfer and bought EconoV, which is regular heat transfer vinyl, you could get a 20-inch by 36 roll. So you're getting way more vinyl for only $8. So remember, Michael's is selling 12 by 36 for $12 on sale. EconoTransfer is selling 20 inches by 36 for $8. Cheaper in price, that's the regular price, and you get way more vinyl. With having a craft cutter, it comes with a cutting mat, so you could cut the vinyl down to 12 inches to feed through, but then you still have an extra 8 inches. You can put that on your cutting mat and cut other stuff out. You're getting way more vinyl for a cheaper price. So remember, convenience isn't always better. In a pinch, yeah, convenience is cool. If you're like low on vinyl, you need to go to the store and pick it up and buy something at retail, cool. But if you're talking about cutting your costs down, saving money, getting more bang for your buck. It's always easier to buy vinyl in bigger rolls because you can always cut it down and feed it through your smaller cutter. But remember, you're getting more for less money. See what I mean? All right, I know this video is very long. I hope this video helps anybody that's wanting to get started when it comes to buying equipment, because it can be very overwhelming when you're looking at all these different videos and people trying to sell you on really expensive shit, and you're like, damn, I can't justify spending that much money on something and I'm just getting started. You don't have to buy the best of the best. Buy within your budget. Buy whatever fits your budget, because you can always upgrade later. But I've been doing this shit for years and I still use a Heat Press Nation Signature Pro press. I'm still using a craft cutter. I actually downsized from a really big cutter down to these smaller cutters because it takes up less space. The Cameo right now is on this little tabletop right now. I don't need a stand for it. It's not taking up the whole table. Easy call. I can move it around. Doesn't take up a lot of room, and it cuts out all the heat transfer vinyl that I need. Cuts out the puff, reflective, it cuts out specialty vinyls, decal vinyl, any heat transfer vinyl. I haven't even had to change the blade. On my Cameo 3, I had for years since it came out, never changed the blade once, and basically cut vinyl on that thing every day. So like I said, man, you don't have to break the bank to start making money. You don't have to go broke trying to make money. Buy whatever fits your budget and use that to make money. This way you're gonna figure out your workflow. This way you're gonna figure out your processes. This way you're gonna find out your statement of work. You could set out to start doing t-shirts and then figure out, oh damn, I make more money making decals. Or set out to start doing t-shirts and then find out you make more money selling hoodies. Your customers like hoodies better than t-shirts. Now you don't even offer t-shirts and now you're just pressing on hoodies. See what I mean? You gotta figure out what works best for you. The only way to figure that part out is actually doing it. So take advantage of all these sales going on right now. Holiday sales are here and there's a lot of stuff on sale. If you're looking to upgrade, now's the time to upgrade. If you're looking to just jump in, now's the time to jump in. Whatever you do, just get going, just get started, all right? Hopefully this video helps somebody out. Like I said at the beginning, links to everything I mentioned in this video is in the description box. Check it out, do your own research, read up on stuff, compare prices, and see what fits your budget and see what fits your workspace. Make a decision from there. Don't let me make the decision for you. Be a free thinker, do whatever fits yourself the best, all right? If you got any questions, leave it in the comments. Follow me on Instagram, Big Brando TV. Catch you guys on the next one, man. Yeah.